Hey guys, what's up and welcome to Young Titan World. Hope you guys are having a good, no, great day. You're hearing the echoes is gonna stop in three, two, one. Now everything is hunky dory. Um, I definitely don't have episodes for the previous days, and I know I was gonna make this a daily thing, but moving from Casablanca to Fez really did a number on my routine and my schedules. And I walked up a flight of stairs, so I'm kind of like out of breath. But that's not what you should worry yourself about. What? Today, we're going to be reviewing a movie I never thought I was going to watch. Honestly, when it came out, I thought to myself, they're doing the same thing that they've been doing with all the Fast and Furious movies. You know, stretch it, stretch it out, give everyone a sequel, uh, get a lot of these characters to get hooked on the idea that it could last forever, so they should get themselves prepped up for more movies. Like, I thought that when I was gonna watch this movie, it would be because I had nothing to do. Well, that actually was the case. I had I just finished deleting everything on my laptop because I needed to make space for the games that I'll be playing. If you want to go check it out, it's on my YouTube channel, Young Titan World. I've not been able to upload much of my gaming content on my YouTube channel so far because it's mainly streaming that I've been doing. You can check me out on Young Titan World, that's on Twitch, or you can check out on my TikTok where I also do streaming. But hopefully, I will also be able to upload all of those gaming content onto that place. And I'm still sorry that I do not have my usual energy and makes me sound like a crazy person. But usually, here's the thing: when I'm over here, I feel restrained, and it also makes it seem like I'm absolutely ridiculous. I don't want it to sound that way. So let's just get back to the review. All right. So yes, John Wick, Chapter 4. Uh, I was assuming it was going to be another one that would set the stage for something more, because that's what every studio does these days. They make a movie and they hope that you like it so much that you would want them to turn it into an entire universe. So I thought that's what they were gonna do with um, John Wick, and in a way I was right, but not in the way that I expected. Okay. So yeah, so John Wick starts off with him being betrayed by Winston, so he's like picking himself up. I actually thought this movie was gonna be like a revenge format, that he was gonna come after Winston, and there was gonna be this crazy battle scene at the hotel again, and probably have to kill Sharon or something. Well, yes. Oh my God, that sounds like a. Just watch the movie if you haven't watched it. Okay, just hurry up, leave this right now, stop it, and just go and watch it and then come back to me. All right. So what happens in this movie is very um I I didn't really feel anything for the action sequences. I mean, some of them were straight up funny, like the way some of them died, the maneuvers that they used to kill each other. It was humorous, okay? You're humorous. It was not badass in a way. It was just like comical in a way. So I don't give so much concern as to how they fought, but in my general conclusion, every single part of that movie was forgetful except the ending. Now the ending was spectacular. I, I freaked out when that happened, and maybe it's because I'm small brain, but I definitely didn't see it coming. So it. Let's just start off with the whole story. So yes, John Wick has to he's still on the run since the second chapter or so, where he's been excommunicado from the hotel, the Continental, and yeah, so now he's on the run, and people are after him, and they've increased the millions of dollars on his head to 20. So it's like he's still constantly running away. He's out there running for his life, but he's got friends, few friends. And it was in this movie that I realized the Continental is not just one hotel. It's a branch, a series of hotels. And there was one that was in Osaka or in Japan, and that was one that I really came to love because their outfits was just ravishing. Okay, I wonder why they didn't start off the entire John Wick franchise off of that hotel because that place looks so cool. But yes, old friends, they bring in characters that have some sort of history with John Wick, and they were killer buddies together. Now he's supposed to kill him. You know, that same cliche over and over again. Except this guy is Asian and he's got a lot at stake, quote unquote. His daughter, who is also a part of his life, but if he chooses to go back to his normal life and go back with his daughter, they're gonna kill his daughter. So it's kind of like he always has to watch her from a distance, which is tragic. Yeah, I know. Cry about it later. So anyways, with that said, John Wick is now trying to find a way to end all this. You know, like he's been running around. He wants to be free. He wants to get this over with. And since the Marquis, the new Marquis, comes in, he wants to like change everything. He wants to cut John Wick completely out of the picture so that he or the idea of his existence will no longer be a problem to anyone else, and no one would decide to go down that path because it's suicidal and obviously very crazy. And no one would have the balls to do that. But the Marquis is trying to be cautious and he's reckless and he decides to tear down the Continental. He gives them an hour and then he blows the place up. And he doesn't kill a Winston, which doesn't make sense because Winston had basically double crossed and betrayed everyone else. They tore John Wick into two by throwing him off the building after he shot him. Well, he didn't throw him off the building. He shot him so hard he fell off a building. Yes, that is great context, Sam. Keep going. Um, anyways, Winston is continental-less, and he now has to find a way to get to what do they call it? He has to find a way to get to understand why he was left alive because Sharon, the guy who was the most coolest character in all the John Wick movies, he was the one that they killed. They killed him. Imagine that. The cool black guy who did no one no harm, took care of John Wick's dog, is the guy that they fucking killed instead of Winston, who's a lying double cross piece of shit. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna skip that part. Anyways, it's crazy. They killed Sharon. They leave Winston. Now Winston's worming about trying to find a way to get all that he lost back into his hands. The greedy motherfucker. So he realizes that John is also trying to find ways to end things, and he goes to see John again. Honestly, I thought that when those two found themselves in the same area, they'd start some whole crazy fight scene or shoot each other. But let's face it, Winston is more of an elegance rather than a fighting type, and John Wick's choreographies only work when he's against people who are very energetic. So you know what I mean. Anyways, so for the characters, they come together and decide, hey, here's a bright idea. We can take down the Marquis. In a way that involves laws that exist within the John Wick universe, that is apparently sparring sessions with a gun where they walk paces away from each other and shoot gunshots like the good old days. And apparently, that is part of their sequences and their rituals and their markers and all the things that add up to become John Wick's crazy and somewhat strict universe of killing people in class and elegance. So apparently he's supposed to do all those things. So what he does is that he has to find a way to be part of a family. Last time we checked, he actually got a ticket from his quote unquote family who seems to be Russian. I don't know how he's Russian, but yeah, whatever. So his family wants to not have anything to do with him because last time that he was there, they got their boss killed, Piotr. I don't even remember that guy. He must be so forgetful. I'm sure he was one of the reasons why he chopped off his finger, but then again, I'm not really keeping track of the John Wick stories as well as I should, and that's all on me. Anyways, so he has to go back there and pretty much do all the things that I said, try and win their trust again. But they tie him to a chair and they try to hang him in the process, but they don't do it quickly. They do it slowly and painfully, just so that he can have enough time to let his plot get them to help him. And they give him an ultimatum. There's a guy that killed their boss. He's supposed to go over there, kill that guy, and bring proof that he's actually murdered that nigga. So once he does that, then they'll take him back and he'll be under the family, and then he can apply to kill the Marquis that is trying to terrorize John Wick's life and everything that he holds dear, which is nothing right now. Everything is gone. But honestly, I think that apart from the fact that there were so many cliches in the existence of this John Wick Part 4, I love the pieces of advice they give each other as each step goes on. You realize that they give a lot of wise sayings. I don't know, man. They must have opened up a Latin advice book because there was just like it was littered with good words of wisdom everywhere. I think the one that I loved the most was what they put on Sharon's grave. Um, is Aricum Vils, Adicum, Amicum Vils, good friend. Yep, I learned something from John Wick. Ladies and gentlemen, who's a smartass? Anyways, so yeah, it was pretty cool that way. So yes, so he goes over to the place. It's a fat guy, but damn, that fat guy got moves, man. That nigga can move. He was more agile and flexible than I have ever been. But I will be more flexible than that in the future, I can assure you. And with minus the weight. Okay, so that's saying something. Anyways, this asthmatic Russian and slash fat guy. Also he sets a table, so the Asian guy that wants to kill John Wick so that he can have his daughter go scot free and he can have a normal family with his daughter. And the new probably gonna get a spin-off somehow. The new John Wick, that's what I'm calling him because he has a dog. I mean, he's not like wearing suits or anything, but he's just like he's a good tracker and he's super black. It's like they were trying to do the whole thing that they were doing with 007 where Idris Elba was gonna be the new 007, but this one, the new John Wick is gonna be a black guy who also has a dog, and he gets the heads up. It's like in in this entire movie, we get to see um, John Wick almost face death, but then they reconsider and not kill him because he's so lucky. And it's one thing that the Russian asthmatic fat guy says that really gets me thinking. Whether John Wick himself is what you would consider a very skillful person, or as time has gone on, his name is what he uses as a bulletproof shield in order to get work done. He's not exactly putting in much effort or he's not doing the work because the fat guy, the asthmatic fat guy, clearly says that you're not, some super killing machine. You're just a lucky guy, lucky guy. And then as after that, he tosses him over a balcony or something, and he falls he's straight on the floor. And yes, the I also have to chip this one in too. He's probably some superhuman. I think maybe in the John Wick lore, we get to explore some fact that he has adamantium bones because throughout this entire movie, even though they made an explanation for the suit that can stop bullets, they didn't really mention anything about them giving them bone enhancements that make it feel like they're made of iron. Because we're talking about a very crazy set of events that caused him to get crashed by multiple cars, and he doesn't have any broken bones whatsoever. Maybe he does, and he's just walking them off. But dude, I don't think even being knocked down by a car even once is healthy for you. How much more like 5 times? Anyways, I'm gonna end it here and say that it was brutal, crazy. And the ending was very moving and touching, and I hope I get to see more of that. Maybe a sequel. Who knows? That's all for me. I'm Titan out. Thanks for listening.